Time now is just coming to 8:40. Tributes have been pouring in to the Fleetwood Mac singer and songwriter Christine McVie, who's died at the age of 79.
She was behind some of the band's most famous songs, including Don't Stop, Songbird and Little Lies. A statement from Fleetwood Mac described her as truly one of a kind, special and talented beyond measure. David Sillito looks back at her life.
Fleetwood Mac and Don't Stop, the song Bill Clinton chose as his campaign anthem. And the songwriter, Christine McVie. She'd been part of the British blues scene in the 60s with the band Chicken Shack and also as a solo artist before joining Mick Fleetwood and her husband John McVie. She had a gift for writing hits. There was a long break, but she rejoined the band in 2014. Fleetwood Mac has had many ups and downs, but their success owed much to the songwriting skill of Christine McVie. In a statement, the band said, "We were so lucky to have a life with her."
We can talk to Bob Harris now. Bob, morning to you. You know, we know that Fleetwood Mac did perform on the old Grey Whistle Test. I know you presented, of course, that in 1976. Did you come across Christine McVie?
Yes, I did, Naga. It was an amazing moment, actually. I met her previously because she was huge on the blues scene in the UK in the late 60s, early 70s. She was on the Blue Horizon label at the time. She was in a band called Chicken Shack, a great blues band. That's when she met John McVie. They got married. She joined Fleetwood Mac, who were also on Blue Horizon in those early days. And Christine was voted the top female singer in Britain in '69 and in 1970. So this was around the time that I was just starting on Radio 1. So our paths crossed several times. But the key moment for me was about 6 years later. The Fleetwood Mac album had already done really well, and the band were rehearsing for a massive tour that they're about to do prior to the release of the Rumours album. And they'd hired a huge kind of hangar-sized studio in Burbank in California, set up a stage, set up all the lighting, and we're doing a complete run-through of their stage set. And we were invited to go along and watch and join them, basically, for the day. And I don't know if anyone remembers seeing it's on YouTube, a version of Rhiannon, where you can see, I mean, we were fortunate because we got two cameras on this moment. And the band started playing, and you could literally see there was a click moment somehow, how everyone suddenly went into another space with this performance. It was absolutely magical. And as she always was, Christine was calm. She was on the keyboards. Stevie was doing her usual thing. Visually, it looked absolutely amazing. And that was my sort of best day, really, with Fleetwood Mac around that time. That day, that magical day in the middle of their rehearsals for the Rumours tour.
It's so interesting, Bob. And Fleetwood Mac had... there were a lot of issues between the band, weren't they? They had a mixed lineup over the years, and there was a lot of fascination with the relationship between them all. But you know, you read through the tributes today, and that core, that respect they all had for each other, and the love they had for each other, really comes through today, doesn't it?
It does. Well, each of them put the band above everything else, whatever else was going on in their private lives. And I mean, as you say, Charlie, their relationships between one another got very, very complicated at certain times. But the band was always the most important thing. And within that, what you got from Christine was caring simplicity. I think her songs have such a touch of love about them. And she was able to express quite complicated emotions in very simple lyrical terms in a way that genuinely touched people's souls.
We often talk, don't we? And there'll be a lot of people, I don't know, they'll be either going back to Fleetwood Mac today and re-listening to some of those songs, or there might be people who, you know, for whatever reason, it sort of passed them by, maybe younger audiences. A lot of those songs really do stand the test of time, don't they?
Oh, gosh, they really do. And it wasn't a Christine song, but Dreams came back online a couple of years ago with a chap on a skateboard singing it on TikTok. You know, I mean, their music transcends. It transcends time and regions and, you know, fashion, quite frankly. They wrote some magnificent songs. And, of course, the balance between Christine and Stevie was just absolutely perfect.
We spoke to her on the sofa 6 years ago, I think, and that when you talk about her calmness, she definitely had that, because they'd had a break, hadn't they? They'd had some time apart, and I think she'd done up a house and she found absolute joy in it. And she said, I've had enough of living out of suitcases. She kind of was a woman who'd been there, done it, set an example for other women in the industry, but kind of knew what she wanted.
That's a really, really good way of putting it, Naga. I think also that, you know, touring is extremely demanding. And I think at one point she just got tired. She also became worried about flying. She just wanted to stop and settle for a while. And she did break away from the band for quite some time, as we know. But then when she rejoined them, I remember her saying, "This is where I really belong." And seeing her back on stage with the band, it really sort of put that final piece back in the jigsaw again.
Bob, lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much for sharing your memories with us this morning. Good to speak to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Charlie.